Hi everybody, it is Sharon Hudson with Tupelo Honey Designs, and I was just going to come on here and teach y'all a new technique, but which I still will. But I just wanted to say that, you know, this is a very sacred day, this Thursday, and I just want us all to, sorry, I'm getting emotional, just be grateful and thankful for what you have, especially for your health right now and your loved ones that you can't see and you can't be together with. So during this Holy Week now through Sunday, just remember what a gift it is that we have just to be here right now. So anyway, that being said, what I wanted to teach y'all today is an old world paint technique. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. And I'm going to do it on this table right here, but I'm going to show you on this clock. It's kind of what I'm trying to achieve. So I'm going to hold that up. And you're getting a glare there. Okay, so if you can see the paper, it looks old, it looks kind of scratchy, it may look like it's got crackle in it, but that is the look that I'm going to go for on this tabletop. And it's not crackle. I hope y'all watched LaDon's video yesterday with LaDon's recreation. She did crackle and it was amazing, so y'all go back and watch that. But this, it's not crackle, but it can look like crackle. It can make it look like it's old and worn and weathered. So what I'm doing on this table that I've got, it is, and I cannot read comments, y'all, so I apologize for that. And if some of y'all, if there's questions on there that I can't see, if, you know, Robin or LaDon or Julie, if y'all could answer them for me, I'd appreciate it. And then, of course, afterwards, I'll go back and, you know, read all the comments and the questions. So, on this table, this is a pie top table. It was my grandmother's, and I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb mode. And now my mother-in-law is texting me. So sorry. So what I did first, because this is really, really old. It probably came from Mississippi, passed down from her family. So the first thing I did was put Boss on it. Now Boss is a Dixie Belle product that you don't have to use on everything, but if it is an antique, and I say that very cautiously because so many people don't like us painting antiques, but this is my personal property, my personal heirloom, so I'm going to do it. But if you do have some, and they're going to be old mahogany, you're going to get bleed through, whether you think so or not. You just are, especially if it is a light top like what I've started doing here. Now down below I've got it Bunker Hill blue. I did go ahead and paint the whole thing with Boss. I didn't have to, but I wanted to because what Boss does, it blocks odors and it blocks stains and it blocks bleed throughs. So I knew I was going to have bleed through because if you can see, if I can put this up close, if you can see in some places here where the varnish just, you know, chipped off, it's old varnish. I didn't sand that completely down because I'm like, I like that texture. It just helps to make it look old. So I used it on everything because of the smell. So I didn't have to use it on the bottom because I was painting it a dark color, but I went ahead and did that because sometimes you get that old grandma smell. You know, if it's been sitting in their house for 50 some odd years, it's gonna have that old smell. So anyway, I went ahead and did that with Boss. My top coat, I used our new French linen, and it is a beautiful, beautiful color. So that was my base coat. I went back then with 3 different colors. I went back with Sandbar, which I'm going to put a little on here now, Drop Cloth, and I used Dried Sage, which has a little bit of green in it. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. But I'm not going to put Dried Sage on this final coat because it's getting, for what I want, it's getting a little dark. So all you're going to do, you're going to take your brush. I always start out with a damp brush. Mine's already damp, but you can, just mist it a little bit. You're going to get a smoother coverage that way, and you're not going to use as much paint. So, okay, all I'm going to do, a light hand. You don't want anything, real heavy. You just want to, and you may have to, offload a little bit. I've got a rag over here I can offload if I've got too much paint. And you're just going to hashtag. Okay, and I'm going to come back with another color, do some Sandbar. All right, so can you see how it is? You're getting different colors in there. Some of that dried sage is showing through. And I want to try and do this quickly because nobody likes to sit and watch paint dry. Okay, so I'm going to do half of the table well, we're almost done. I'll do this quickly. So you can see, I'm not completely covering it. I'm just, back and forth. I mean, it's splotchy. That's what I want. You don't want a perfect coverage. It's going to look bad before it looks great. Everybody says that. Okay, so it's getting to be a little bit more of the color I want, but I like that dried sage showing through just a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna set this aside. This is probably gonna dry quickly. I'm out in my garage today, so it'll dry quickly. It's a beautiful day. It's a little overcast, but it's a beautiful day. All right, so I'm gonna set that aside. I'm gonna set this aside to dry. Now, what frottage is? Does anybody know what frottage is? I'm gonna pull this up. Turn this around. It is, I'm gonna show you something. Basically, you're taking paper, you're crinkling it up, you're putting a glaze on, and then you're just mushing it down. So I'm going to show you two different ways. All right, this one is a completely different color. This one is our grunge glaze. On the edges here is our Van Dyke glaze. This one is very light. All right, so if you can see that, it's a very light glaze. Now, these are two different techniques here. This one, put it up close here. This one where you can see it, I actually put Easy Peasy spray wax on there before I put my glaze. And so you can see with these big places right here that it did not soak through like it did on this side where I did not have wax. And I've got, it's just kind of a tighter, coverage on there. This side looks more like leather. And, you could actually do that on a pillow because you can paint fabric with it. So what you're gonna do, this is just packing paper, okay? Just regular packing paper. You can use newspaper, you can use whatever you want. Then sprinkle it up like this. Okay, I'm looking around making sure I didn't see anything. Oh, I did want to say, on this side that I use the Easy Peasy, this is our Easy Peasy spray wax. And I learned this at conference in February. Amy O'Connor, who is with AJ's Vintage Designs, I know y'all have all seen her videos. I didn't know this about Easy Peasy, but if you listen, it's gonna sound like water at first, and then the more, when I shake it, there won't be any sound. So that's how you know it's ready to go. So listen. No sound. So just remember that with your Easy Peasy spray wax, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it really good. And you'll know when it's ready because you won't hear anything. Okay, so on this, I'm just gonna put, let's see if this is dry. Not quite dry. Before we do the frottage, on this piece, if you wanted to, you could stencil something on there, okay, to even make it look older. Now, you don't have to do a hard stencil. I would not. I would take my paint. I've got a little bit of gold here. Put that in there a little bit. And it's dried up. Okay, so I'm just going to take my French tip. This is a Dixie Belle French tip. It's a new brush, but I love them. I mean, you can get into these, these corners here. They're great for stenciling. So I am just going to gently pounce. Just gently pounce on here. And I don't want it solid. I don't want it to look like, it's printed on there. I'm going to offload some of that. Not too much there. Okay. So I'm going to peel that off. And this gold it's a very sheer gold. But as you can see, it's not really on there solid. And that's what I would want. Okay, so, and then I would let that dry, and then I would frottage over that. So, I'm going to pull this table back. It is just about dry. Now I'm going to get over here on the dry side and push this back. All right, now I am going to take a different brush, a clean brush. And on this one, I want to use the grunge glaze. This is the Van Dyke glaze, and it's browner. This is more gray. This has got a little bit of blue in it, so I think it'd be really pretty with the Bunker Hill blue legs. So I'm going to open this up, obviously. And I'm just going to, my brush is already damp a little bit. I'm going to dip it in there. You don't need a whole lot, okay? And I'm gonna go over like this little piece right here where all the old varnish just kind of peeled away. I'm just gonna go back over it like that with my glaze. In the glaze, it does kind of dry quickly, so you wanna work quickly, at least here in my garage, it is. So I'm gonna take this paper now. I'm going to pull it out just a little bit. You don't want it completely stretched out. You want these little wrinkles on there. And then, I hope y'all can see this. You're just going to pat it down. Don't smooth it out. You don't want to smooth it out. You just want to lay it down like this. And you can see how it's kind of sticking to the glaze. Can you see that? It's just kind of sticking to that wet there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need it to be perfect. It's going to be different every single time you do it, so you're never going to get the same effect. And then you're just going to peel it away and woo! Like that. Can y'all see that? Isn't that awesome? Awesome. So, you're gonna do that on the whole thing. I missed that little piece right there. I can go back and I can do that. Pull it back again. And just wherever you missed, just take your paper, press on there. And it gives you that cool look. So you can imagine if this gold stencil was underneath that, how beautiful that would be. But what I'm gonna do, and I could still use the stencil, I am gonna use a transfer. I've got this one that I'm thinking I'm gonna use because it has more detail on it, so I would not want to use that stencil underneath it. So it's a clock transfer. So I'm gonna put that on there after everything is dry. Now, I could go back and do another frottage on top of the transfer. You can do it either way. It doesn't matter. There's no real rules. But I have this other one that if I did want to use the stencil, it's bigger and I would have to cut it down, and I don't know if I want to do that one because this one's 36 inches. So, now then, if y'all can see that, I see comments. But I could, on this one, I could stencil Paris up here, and then I could put Flea Market down there. And then cut off these edges here to make it fit my table. So, you know, either way, there's a lot of different looks that you can do. You don't even have to do anything on here because it looks fantastic the way it is. Now, I'm not going to worry about these edges here because I'm going to go back and paint it gold. But now that this is dry a little bit, I'm going to go back. I'm going to offload this because I want to show you with my gilding wax. I want to use my warm gold. We have gilding waxes in, I don't know what, 7 colors I think. So this is our warm gold. We've got hammer copper, we've got bronze, we've got patina, we've got Fantasia, which is a beautiful ruby red. We've got silver. Silver is not available right now because they're kind of redoing it. But what I want to do, I'm going to take my brush, I'm just going to put it in my gilding wax, just a tiny, tiny bit. And I'm going to go back along the edges here, just to give it a little more antiquing, a little bit more of that old world look. So I'll hold that up for you. Can you see that? Just a tiny bit of gold, just a tiny bit. So that's it with the frottage. I'll go and I will finish the rest of this table. But it's so fun. I mean, it really is. You can get so many different looks with it. And I'm just going to show you one more time. I don't want to bore you to death. Okay, so take my paper, use the other side of it here, spread it out just a little bit, and then just flatten it. Just flatten, flatten, flatten. So you see, it's not exactly a crackle look. It's like an old leather, or it can look like stucco. And that's what gives it that old world look. So it looks like stucco, like so many of the buildings you see in Europe and France and Italy. So there. Isn't that awesome? Can y'all see that? So I will go back. I will answer any questions y'all have. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. I think that's it. So I'll go back, answer your questions. Next week, I would like to come back, and I want to try and do this once a week. You know, I think even if it's just for entertainment, just for grins, I think we all kind of need that right now. But next week, what I want to show you is how you can paint tile. Yes, you can. And I'm going to show you. This is tile that I've picked up at a tile place. So this is the original side. Here's the other side that we're going to paint. We're going to paint it. You'll be able to walk on it. You'll be able to do anything. So you can do kitchen counters. You can do your backsplash. You can do your floors. It's an easy way and inexpensive way to change up the look of your home. So anyway, I'll do that next week. Just wanted to give you an idea. So let me know if y'all try this frottage technique and send me pictures. I love to see pictures of what y'all are working on. It doesn't matter if it's paint. I mean, if you're baking a cake, if you're doing cupcakes with your kids, or you know, you're outside planting your garden, you know, show me pictures. I think everybody enjoys seeing that. So anyway, I think that's it for now. So I just wanted to say thank you for watching, and I will go back and read the comments, and I appreciate y'all being on here, giving me support. As you know, all of our businesses are closed now. And so, you know, we are all struggling. So anything that, you know, you can do to help out small businesses is really appreciated. Most of us are trying to sell our Dixie Belle Paint online. So, you know, find your local retailer, reach out to them, and they'll be so happy to either drop it on your doorstep or we can ship it to you. So again, I'm Tupelo Honey, and my website is tupelohoney.com, and well, it's tupelohoneydesigns.com, and I'm on Facebook. So anyway, thank y'all very much, and have a glorious, glorious Easter weekend. All right, love y'all. Bye.